What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome back to another episode of The Road to Glory. Before we get into Foot Champs games for today, as you could probably tell by the title, I'm going to do the PETIT SBC. Of course, it will be the loan version of PETIT, but it's a good card. It is quite expensive for the 20 games, but I love Petit, and don't get me wrong, Bakayoko is good, Matuidi is good. But I feel like it will be fun to use Petit for 20 games in at that CDM spot. It might continue to strike fear, you know, having two prime icons and a Thierry Henry 90 rated in the team for 20 games. It might be enough to just strike fear into some upcoming opponents. So how much did this cost me? We bought Berkey for 3,700. We already have Lichtsteiner, but he's dirt cheap anyway. We bought Sommer for 1,200, Casillas for 1,500, Lopez for 1,100. Forsberg for 1,400 and Zonzi for 1,400, Aruli for 1,300. We already had Cheryshev and Banega for 1,600, and we already had William Jose. So altogether, it's like 16, 29, 39, 43, 53, 57, 68, 78, 83, 84, 85, 95, 9,500. About, what's that, about 13,200 for Emmanuel Petit. For 20 games, so about 700 to 800 coins per game it's going to cost me to use him. I think personally that's a decent I think that's a decent return. You know, he's nice and tall. He's 6'1" compared to the 5'9" of Matuidi. He's got high, he's got 3-star, 3-star, whereas Matuidi has 2-star, 2-star. In fact, let's pop him into the team. We picked him up right here. We'll pop him in. You know what would be great on this game, now that they've added attribute in-game stats on players, like where you can see the attribute details, having a compare function would be fantastic. Let me get... Did I not just put Petit into this team? I thought I did. Let's get Matuidi here. I'm not going to be putting a shadow on Petit because that's another 5,000 coin outlay. And I don't think it's worth it. So I managed to snipe an Anchor Chem style for 450 coins. So we're going to be whacking an Anchor on him instead of the other thing that I can't remember what I said. But in terms of stats, dudes, so which way is Matuidi? So yeah, he's a lot taller, same work rates, same footedness, 2-star, 2-star versus 3-star, 3-star. And then when we look at attribute details, he's going to have less pace than Matuidi because he has an anchor, not a shadow. But he's got way better physicals, better defending, better dribbling, much better passing, and even better shooting. His shot power and long shots is special. So for 20 games here, we're going to pop him in right there. Is he going to be on 10 chem to boot? Yes, he is 10 chem straight away. Dudes, you're going to look at this team. Oh my god. Do you know what I mean? Neuer, Valencia, Bailly, Boateng, Alaba. That is a complete defence. Pogba, Petit and Vidal. Insane midfield. Rui Costa, Alessandrini and Thierry Henry all up front. Just huge things here. And I'm actually going to put Matuidi on the bench instead of Kimmich for a while. Do I stay 84 rated? No, I don't. I'm going to keep these bronzes on. Not that I think bronze benching works or anything, but as I said to you guys before, I want to give myself every possible advantage I can have this year. Even if that means doing things that I don't believe in, just in case. You know what I mean? So here we are, guys. This is the team I'm going to take into 10 games for today. Let's get into the action. Okay, guys, as we get into the action, first things to note, I just moisturised my face, which is why I look like this. First thing to note is that I'm struggling this week, guys, with the number of games again. You know, this week was a huge issue for me. I'm gonna give spoilers real quick. I'm gonna give an alert when I'm gonna give the spoiler, and then I'll give an alert when I've stopped spoiling. But I'm gonna tell you how many games I played and what my record is at the end for this video, essentially. So I'm gonna ruin that. So I'm gonna talk about it now. And when I'm done, I'll just raise my hand. So if you don't want to listen to the spoilers and you want to watch the gameplay not knowing, stop listening right now. And when I raise my hand, you can come back. So, with that being said, we finished 20 wins and 5 losses after this video's games. and that's after Saturday's games have been complete. And I was 16-1 and ended up losing 4 on the spin, which we'll talk about when we get to that gameplay, and went to 16-5. That's the worst loss streak I've had this FIFA, and then pulled it back to 20-5. So there's my hand raised. For those of you that didn't want the spoilers for the records, there you go. But with that being said, I've played 25 games up until today. So it's currently Sunday at 2 o'clock. I've still got so much to do today, and as I was saying, I'm having issues with the amount of games. Now, what I've been trying to do every weekend recently is get 20 games on Friday, 10 on Saturday, 10 on Sunday, and it just allows me a nice amount of time to play squad battles, and it allows me a nice amount of time to do things outside of FIFA. You know, I put all that extra effort in on Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday is a little bit more casual. Well, what happened this Friday was EA released 2 new League SBCs, and with them releasing 2 new League SBCs, they take a long time to complete. You know, there's 24 championship teams, 18 Eredivisie teams. I had to go and buy the players, get the teams set up. You know, for doing that for like 42 teams or however many it was, you're looking at around sometimes 5 to 8 minutes a team. It took me hours upon hours to get that, just to get the teams built, let alone make, render and edit the videos. So my initial aim was to get 20 games done on Friday, and I couldn't do it. Just didn't have the time. We ended up only getting 10 games done on Friday, which sucked for me. What I wanted to do was get, you know, you saw that into yesterday's video, you know, 9-1. So when Saturday came about, I just said to myself, let me just play as many as possible. Now, I normally would sit there and think 15 games left on a Sunday isn't too much of an issue, because I can easily play 15 games on a Sunday. However, because of how much extra effort and extra work I put in on Friday, my time doing other things is very limited, and I'm going to explain what I need to do today and what we're going to do for this weekend's Foot Champs, just hopefully for just this weekend. One thing to note as well, guys, as we go through the gameplay, you won't see many goals that I conceded. You won't even see many goals that I scored. I cut out a lot of like the irrelevant goals and such, just to keep the length of the video a little bit shorter. You know, it gets to a point where if I show every goal, because every game is just full of goals, that it's very long video. So we get to 12-1 after 13 games. Super happy with that. May the win streak continue. So with that in mind, it's as I say, it's currently Sunday at 2 p.m. So we've got plenty of time to play the games, but I've still got 8 squad battles games to play and 15 Foot Champs games to play, and I still need to record, render, edit, and upload my Fatal video. Now that all in all is going to take me about 3 to 4 hours. So if I take away 3 to 4 hours, we're going to go to 5, maybe 6 p.m. plus the 8 squad battles games. That's going to be about another 2.5 hours. That's going to take me to, give or take with other things in between, about 8 p.m. Before I can even settle in to play any Foot Champs games. And I've got 15 games left. So some people will probably say, why not just not do the squad battles games? The reason why I want to do the squad battles games is because I'm in a situation right now where I'm back in the top 100, not only just in the top 100, I'm actually back in contention for a top 10 spot, at least a top 20 spot, and then for completing that, I'll get a 100k pack, 250k packs, and a lot of coins, you know, like 70,000 coins or so, 67 or 65 or 75,000, yeah, 75,000 coins, I think, which obviously is important to the series. So I think I'm going to be able to complete the games. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to complete them at a high level or a high standard, because obviously the longer the day goes on, the more tired I get, the more FIFA tired I get, the less responsive and less reactive I get. And as you guys know from last year, one of my biggest problems last year was getting drained because I was playing too many games per day. So hopefully we can win 9 of our 15 games and get Elite 3, but I'd settle for Gold 1 for this week. You know, I'd settle just to take those 2 100k packs and 50k coins. That wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. And then next week, next Friday, when there won't be 2 new League SBCs, hopefully we can go and get ourselves into a position where we're playing at least 15 to 18 games on Friday, if not the whole 20. Now I want to show you guys my results, and I've been making damn sure to put these out on Twitter as well, so that you guys can see that I'm playing on Legendary. I'm not playing on Ultimate, and the reason why that's important is because there is it's so hard to explain. I'm going to take this to EA. By the time I've made this video, this probably would have already been sent to EA. But there's an issue. There is an issue in Ultimate Squad Battles. It wasn't what I initially thought it was. What I initially thought it was, I took that to EA. They run some tests. They told me it was just a visual glitch. So I also run the exact same tests as them that I could, because they have dev tools that I don't have. And what I did, what was called a blind test, where, for example, I emulated the way I thought it was being manipulated, and then also emulated the way I didn't think it was being manipulated, and got someone in my house to pick one of them at random, and then I played the game with that team not knowing which one it was, because it's the same starting lineup. It was the bench and reserves that were something to do with it. So I played the game not knowing who was on the bench and reserves, and it was, in fact, it was a visual glitch. So there was what I thought was the issue was a visual glitch, but last night somebody tweeted, tweeted me and then DM'd me on Reddit exactly how to perform the glitch, or the non-glitch. It's so weird. I can't wait to hear back from EA when I do message them, to hear what they have to say about it, because it's not a glitch. It is an exploit on how to beat Ultimate, but it's no more or less of an exploit than fake shotting on Legendary and making the AI stand still, or using low drivens and scoring because the goalkeeper can't save it because he doesn't have the shot animation. You know what I mean? Like, it is an issue in the game, but it's an issue with the game mechanics and how the game's programmed, and it's not a flat-out cheat or anything. So I wanted to show, however, the fact that I was constantly and consistently playing on Legendary, and I even live streamed 4 of my Legendary games so that you could see exactly how I was doing it. And if people question, you know, how I'm winning, I'll happily upload videos of me playing as well. Because, you know, obviously I already got, 3 weeks ago I got 10th in the world. 2 weeks ago I got 40th in the world. Last week I finished Elite 1 because I was trying to play it on Ultimate. And this week I'm back into the top 100 again. So I just want people to understand that I'm not back in the top 100 because I've learned a manipulation of the game mechanics and that's what's causing it. I'm still playing on Legendary, I'm still getting the 5-0s, and the reason why I went from struggling to score the goals earlier on in the week to being able to comfortably score the goals this time during the week is because of the man that just scored right there, Thierry Henry. He was incredible. He is incredible. Now, I ended up getting to a point, guys, I don't know if this is the specific game, I ended up getting to a point where I went 16-1. I think this is the game that sent me 16-1. And after I went 16-1, if this isn't the game, I went 16-1. That's not the end of the games in this episode, though, so it doesn't really ruin too much. I think it just ruins the next game. So that's me 15-1. So I went to 16-1, guys. I have that lone petite in the team, and everything felt great. After I went 16-1, after I won this game here, I ended up going and playing 8 Squad Battles games. And when I came back from Squad Battles, I obviously put Emmanuel Petit back into the team. So when I play Squad Battles, I took Petit out of the team because I don't want to waste his games in Squad Battles. It's unnecessary. And when I came back from Squad Battles, Emmanuel Petit was back in the team. And I went from winning, you know, we started the episode 9-1. We won 7 in a row. Was we 9-1? Was we a bit more than 9-1? I can't remember. But we went from 9-1 after 10 games to 16-1 after 17 games. And I was super happy with that. It was really, really good stuff. Now, what I'm going to show, before we get into some comments, because I've got some really interesting comments, I want to talk about the games that I lost and the manner in which I lost them coming up. But here we go with Rui Costa. I'm 5-4 up in this game. I shouldn't really have conceded the 4 goals. I managed to get a 6th goal with Paul Pogba to make it 6-4. I believe I actually scored a 7th goal in this game to make it 7-4. And stupidly, I took now to go and play my Squad Battles. I didn't have to. I could have played them any time, but I was like so pumped, so energized for winning these games and getting to 16-1 that I was like, oh, I need a break. You know what I mean? I've got so much adrenaline running through me. I'm playing well. I was envisioning 19-1 or 18-2 or 17-3. And so I went, let me go and play Squad Battles to just wind down and reset and then come back at it again. Well, when I came back, you'll see here, now we are 16-1, 16 wins, not only that 1 loss back at game number 9. When we came back with 23 games to go, I started coming up against super teams. I put Petit back into the team, and I came up against this team, and okay, I was coming up against super teams. They were good players as well, which is something to be noted, but I was doing good in them. I was doing all right. And you'll see here, you know, it's 2-2 right now against this guy. I've got possession of the ball. It's the 45th minute almost. Thierry Henry there plays the ball into Alessandrini. Alessandrini finds some space, waits for the run of Henry, the scoop turn, the finesse shot, the goal of dreams. That is what Henry brings to the table. He is just a fantastic finisher from anywhere in and around the box. However, after leading and comfortably leading as well, you know, creating chances, my opponent creating chances, I conceded and then immediately conceded again. And that was in one game. And I was like, you know what? It was one game. The guy was a good player. So, you know, no problems there, really. The guy was a solid player. He created enough chances to deserve to win the game. I was just a little bit flustered that I'd been leading 3-2 up until like the 71st minute, and then bang, bang, conceded, and went on to lose the game. I think 5-3 in the end. I think he scored a late goal whilst I was all out attack. But after leading, I was like, damn, man, I should have won that game. You know, last weekend, no, the weekend that we got 34 wins 2 weekends ago, I mentioned to you guys and noted to you guys that I was winning in 39 of those 40 games. And I thought to myself that weekend, man, if I can just figure a way to hold on to those leads no matter what, I'll be in a great position to get at least 34 wins every week. You know, if I win every game that I take the lead in, which obviously isn't logical in many senses. It's a long game. There's lots of goals in this year's FIFA. There's lots of good players out there. You know, I might score a lucky early goal and then lose to a better player. That's the truth. But in terms of games where I'm in a good game and where I have chances, if I can hold on to leads of all the games I take the lead in, I'll do so much better. So instead of going to 17-1 and holding on to the lead, we go to 16-2. The very next game, I'm 3-2 up again, and guess what? I concede in the 81st minute this time, even later than the last game. And then the next possession, I kick off, I give up the ball, and he scores from it. So back-to-back games, I was winning 3-2 going into the final 15 or 20 minutes. And in back-to-back games, I gave up 2 goals in quick succession and just absolutely bottled an insane start. I didn't just do that in 2 games though, guys. I did that in 3 consecutive games. 3 games in a row. I might save these comments for tomorrow's video actually, because we're getting to a point where it's getting towards the back end of the video. You can see this guy, he probably deserved the win again, much like the guy before. He probably, you know, he was a good player. He created a lot of opportunities, but you know, I took the lead. I did get in the lead, and I was just unable to hold on. And I wonder if it is because I started switching formations, I started panic defending, I started getting desperate. And in game 3 of 4, again, another super team. And I was actually sitting there, I was in the call with the guys in Discord, you know, Skills, Bateson, Dave Myler, Marshall, Tobias, all the guys that we talk to on a daily basis. I was in the call with them, and I was saying, like, I don't come up against many super teams. You know, we've seen 1 or 2 along the way in all 4 First Foot Champs weeks, but even this week we don't come up against super teams. Now we've come up against 3 super teams in a row, and I'm like, what is going on here? This is just unnecessary. I'm not used to seeing 3 super teams in a row. I'm not used to seeing a super team. Once again, I took the lead in this game, and once again, in two possessions, I conceded. Then 5 minutes later, I actually tried to hold on to the ball for a bit. I was like, look, let me not do this again. Let me not lose like this again. Let me hold on to the ball. Didn't work. As soon as I gave up possession again, I lost again. This again was an even game. He was a good player. He scored another late goal because I went all out attack to try and get back into the game. I'm not saying these players weren't good players. You know, this guy created a lot of chances. He had good chances. He had good possession, good passing. He was a strong player. But once again, I'd thrown away the lead late on. And then I came up against another super team. Rui Costa, Antoine Griezmann, Mbappe, Dennis Bergkamp, Bailly, Chiellini. And I was just like, you know what I was saying? I was saying this, right? I was saying in the call, I was saying, I put Matuidi back into squad battles to play those squad battles games. And I know PETIT did well in the first games. But after losing this one 5-3, I didn't actually take the lead in this one. You see, he had a lot more possession than me because he was just killing the game when he got ahead. That guy actually, where the beat me 5-3, went 1-0 up off. I should have shown it actually. I'm gutted I didn't. He went 1-0 up off of kickoff and then started passing around his defence and trying to hold on. I was able to create chances and get back into the game. I just couldn't end up winning the game. After that 4th loss in a row, which by the way devastated me. You know, I went from 16-1 and a great chance of Elite 1 to 16-5. And all of a sudden, a position where I'm like, I don't even know if I'm going to get Elite 3 now. You know what I mean? I've really bottled this. What I did after that is I took Emmanuel PETIT out. I put Matuidi back in, and I didn't come up against a super team again for the rest of the evening. And not only that, I won. By the way, what a goal! I ended up winning the remainder of the games that I played in this episode. You know, so I don't know. I don't want to say PETIT was the issue, because I don't think he was the issue. Because we were winning games with him before I went off to play my squad battles games. But I do wonder, after a day like this, you know, I don't believe in bronze benching. I don't believe that EA manipulate games and the way you get opponents based on team rating. At least I'd like to not believe that. But bringing Matuidi in and taking PETIT out reduces my team from an 85 to an 84. And as soon as I went down to an 84, I stopped coming up against super teams. Okay, I still come up against good teams. You expect people to have competent teams at this stage in FIFA. You know, this guy has Kevin De Bruyne. He had one of the red cards, but then he had, Marcus Rashford, and he didn't have like the most insane defense. And I ended up picking up a win here. And I don't think I won this game because I took PETIT out. I don't think I won this game because this guy didn't have a super team. I think I won this game because mentally I'd readjusted myself. You know what I mean? I'd got the win that got me kind of back into a good spot on FUT Champs. You know, I'd broken the duck of losing 4 in a row. If I would have lost 5 in a row, I don't know how I would have handled that. Honestly, I would have been in... I probably would have stopped playing for the weekend. But I didn't lose 5 in a row. We end up winning back-to-back games. Next opponent again, still not a super team. You know, he's got a couple of good reds in there, but he's got Vardy, he's got David Silva, he's got Azpilicueta, Inform Otamendi, and Inform Kolasinac. Now, these are good players, but when we look at what a super team is, Sergio Ramos, Jerome Boateng, David Alaba, Arturo Vidal, Alexandro, you know, the Chiellinis and stuff. Those are the guys that are like the super players for the super teams, and that isn't what I came up against here. So I was happy to get 2 wins in a row. I was happy to get a 3rd win in a row. Thierry Henry again doing what he does best. The scoot turns at the edge of the box to either a finesse shot or a low driven across the box. He's just super overpowered. I end up nicking the ball in midfield there as well. The ball gets played up to the midfield. Alessandrini into Rui Costa. Beautiful little chip from Rui Costa. Just managed to get the chip shot out there just before the keeper got to my feet to make it 2-0. My opponent did eventually score 1 goal, but he scored it in the 90th minute, and that was too little too late. So I ended up winning that next game 2-1. That put me to 19-5, and then if we win our last game, we go to 20-5, which is actually a very respectable score. If you would have said to me at the start, after 25 games, we'll be 20-5, I would have been like, yep, I'm okay with that. You know, obviously after being 16-1 and going to 20-5, I literally won 5 and lost 4 of a 9-game spell, and that is so disappointing. Even though I agree that I didn't deserve to win those games that I lost, because my opponents, they played good football, they played good FIFA, they created lots of chances. But even if I was able to hang on in just 2 of those games, I'd be sitting here 22-3 instead of 20-5, and that's a huge difference. So once again, something for me to work on for myself going through this next week after this weekend league. You know, Monday through Friday of next week, something that I want to work on is really trying to like hold leads. I want to spam divisions and make sure I can figure out a way that once it's a tough game, once I'm in a game where I'm against a good opponent with a good team and I've got the lead, I want to try some things next week to learn how to hold those better. Because if I can up that area of my game, if I can improve my defense whilst I'm winning, I feel like I can win a lot more and a lot more consistently. After that though, guys, you can see there we get a nice 5-1 rage quit. I believe that guy, Jose90, I believe he's actually a top 100 squad battles player. I've seen his name in squad battles plenty, unless it's just someone with a really similar name and a similar kind of character bound. But after 25 games, guys, we are 20-5. Hopefully I can finish all my games to a good standard, but if not, it's going to be too bad. This though, guys, is going to be the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. I'm out. Peace.